just fed the chickens coming back. I saw, oh, this beautiful thing coming back to the house this morning. Oh my gosh. I just love coming out in the morning. Before I used to just sit in my house, but coming out on the land is really nice. And this is why I love homesteading, because it gets me out with the animals. I connect to nature and it just feels so right. It just feels so right. So I'm away from Muffin because she decided to go poop right now, as you can see. The time spent during the hurricane was a chance to rest from all the outdoor projects that one must do if you have a homestead, a garden, and chickens. There's so much to do during the day because of the intense summer heat. I have learned to work outdoors during certain times of the day when it's not so hot, and to do that, it's necessary to adapt my schedule to accommodate outdoor tasks at specific times of the day. There's always general maintenance, but after so much rain from the storm we recently had, mowing was the focus as soon as the clear skies returned. Weed whacking is not my favorite task, but it makes everything look so neat after mowing. Then there's the task of watering the garden and the fruit trees. Pulling some weeds, and look who decided to come and spend some time with me. They just keep pecking at me. I think you think I'm food or something. I don't always have food on me. Will you eat some of my weeds? Even you can't get in there. And this year I added the task of chickens. This is my first year raising chickens for eggs. They are now close to laying age, and that will be an exciting time for me as they produce eggs for me to be able to harvest. Pulling weeds, like little things like this is so terrible to do. And I'm here early in the morning doing it before the sun gets out because I'm facing south. And if I wait about another hour, it's going to be incredibly hot here and too sunny. They got their pick there of weeds. Want this one? How about this one? They follow me around every place, all the flower beds that I go to, and then they try to get in the basket and get the weeds. But I don't understand. These weeds have been here for weeks. Why didn't they eat them? They come here every single day. You're not doing your work, chicks. You're not supposed to wait for me to pull them out so you can eat them from the basket. You're supposed to pull them out from the ground and eat them. Oh, you guys have it too easy. Look at this big bag of weeds I got. Look at her. She's just trying to eat the weeds from the ball. I can't forget the garden that had been abandoned in previous years. But this year it needed amending the soil to increase the soil fertility. While it's still not perfect, it is getting better. I did manage to eat from it this year. I have plenty of cherry tomatoes. I got a few cucumbers. I harvested a couple of acorn squashes and jalapenos. I even ate chard and different lettuces. And then there was the summer cover crop of black-eyed peas. They're knocking on the door saying, let me in, let me in. You can't come in here. They're making those noises now. Avi makes that really strange noise, and Haven has picked up on it, and she's doing it too. They copy each other. It's so cute. You hear that? Pickett was trying to make it as well, but hers comes out a little bit different. They're gonna head over there. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. I can't even lift this. Oh my gosh, this thing is so big. This is my watermelon. I don't know what this weighs. I'm not even gonna weigh it. Look how big this thing is. I grew that. And it does have the spot. I've been eyeing this baby for months now. Months. Then there was the summer cover crop of black-eyed peas that I planted to prevent weeds and to help enrich nitrogen into my soil. I ended up with a surprise harvest of peas, which I harvested right before the storm in order to prepare my garden for fall planting. So far, this is what I got. I've got a lot more that I've got to go get, but I have to get to feeding the chickens. So some of these I'm going to have to sort because some of these are going to be drier. They're going to be firmer. These are the ones that I like, which are the sweet ones where they're nice and green inside. I just love them. So I'm going to freeze some of those. I'm going to see if I can ferment some of those into some type of a ferment recipe so that I can have them in my salads and keep them a little bit longer than just freezing them. Comes Misty, she's so curious. Just want to show you my harvest of black-eyed peas, and there's still more out there, but I had this full, and I had pulled them, and then I left them in the bucket because I couldn't get to them. But I want you to see that all of these have dried. These are dry. We're pretty dry, okay? So I'm separating them because I want to make sure that I get to the fresh first, because I want to freeze the fresh and also give some to my chickens this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit on the couch and watch a movie, and I'm bringing this bucket from the Dollar Tree with me. This has got all the green ones in here, and I'll be shucking them in here for the peas. And then all of the waste that I have here, I'm going to put it in this container, and then once this container gets full, it's going into this big giant container so that I can drop this into the compost tomorrow morning, because it is raining once again in Florida today, so I can't get outside. All of this shucking here that I did with the beans is that little bit of beans, okay? So you can see that this was this. So there's a lot of bulk here that I'm going to put into the compost. These are going to be dry beans, and I could use those for planting as well in the future, but I want to get to these. There's a lot of work involved. I did learn something from the beans. There's a part here that's a pointy part, and then there's this part here was attached to the vine. I generally cut it off of here, and then there's like a little strip. Once you break it off, there's like a little strip like down here. If you pull that, it's going to open this here, and then it'll make it way easier. Because I didn't realize that this bucket was wet, or some of the beans were wet, some of the beans actually molded that were on the bottom, as you can see, the skin. Now I'll have to open them and check and see if it actually got to the beans or if it was just the outer layer that got mold. But I want you to see what it looks like when you leave them damp and they get moldy. Here's Misty in the garden. I'm getting ready to plant tomorrow. She's camouflaged in the dirt. She won't get up. Are you peeing inside my garden? Oh, yes, you are. Oh, no. Well, I didn't get to fertilize there, but you did. Mama, you look comfortable. Come on, Mama, you gotta go outside. Stop raining. No, you gotta go outside. I'm making chili, and I'm using fresh peas instead of beans. All right, we'll see how this tastes. I'm excited to try my chili with fresh peas. Now, these are the ones that are the driest of all the ones I have. They're not very green, but I mean, they are. But the shells were a little bit brown, and they were a little bit harder than the tender ones. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to make chili with this. I'll see how it tastes. That's what it looks like. The cheese is melting. I put some green onions over it, and it looks really tasty. I'm just waiting on my quinoa, and I'm going to have a nice hot bowl on a rainy day. So with all of the rain that we've having, I realized that it's not like opening a refrigerator where you can get your greens. You have to go outside and get your greens and your vegetables before it starts raining, because yesterday I wanted to eat a salad and I couldn't eat a salad because it was pouring rain. So I hear the thunder in the background, and I said, oh, it's time to go get my greens. So I went outside with my basket. I'm going to show you all the stuff that I harvested. My garden is not flourishing as much, but I was able to get some cherry tomatoes. I got some lettuce leaves down here. I got some beans that I'm going to open up. They're still young, but I tried them yesterday and they're really good. So I'm going to throw those in my salad. I'm going to open them up. Some arugula, and I got my microgreens are coming in, and I have 2 trays of those. Some of them are spicy, so I got that too. All right, you may not agree with me, but we've had rain here for the last few days, and I am going to eat these without washing. Why? Because I don't have to worry about bugs or anything like that. Like things like this I take out because it's dried. I looked through it and see if there's any bugs. There is no bugs when I picked it because I'm cutting off the leaves. It's not like I'm pulling it out of the ground. These are just greens. Now there could be a little dirt in here, especially with the microgreens. When you pull them up, even though I'm cutting them, there could be a little dirt. For me, if I eat a little dirt, it doesn't really bother me. So these beans, I'm just gonna use my nail, just cut them open and take out, I see the little They're tiny little beans. These are just cover crop. I'm gonna take what I can and I'm just gonna open them up and throw them in my salad. They're really good. They taste good. I had some yesterday. The birds went crazy for me, the chickens. These are the black-eyed peas, also known as cow peas. Oops, see? They have the little dot there. They're green, but they're so tender and they taste so good. But oh, these little beans are so good. So tender and sweet. They're almost like sweet. Are so good. I just love going outside and just, it's like I don't have to go to my fridge. I mean, I go to my fridge for things like apples and things that I'm storing in my fridge, you know, but things like this that I eat fresh, oh my gosh, I just love this, especially these little tomatoes. They taste so good. So good. Yum. Good morning, Misty girls. I've been hunting for mushrooms all day. We've had so much rain. If you look down here under the grass, these are kind of dying out because we've got sun coming up. But we got lots of mushrooms all over the property and I've collected these. I'm not going to eat them, but I am going to throw them in my compost because they're good for the compost. And they have a lot of benefits that are going to go into my compost. So here you can see there's a whole bunch of big ones. This is a spot that I get lots of those. So I don't know too much about mushrooms. I want to learn. And that's something that's coming up. See these little tiny ones? So I got a lot of those under the trees back there. So, you know, people buy this stuff at the store. It's expensive. It's mushroom compost. And sometimes it's growing like weeds after many days of rain here in Florida. And now I'm learning to harvest them. I came by the other day around here a few days ago and I saw a couple of them around here, so I'm going to be looking for them. I don't remember where I saw them. I was surprised to even see them here, but I'm looking. But look how many I got. That's a lot. And I've already put, about last week I put a whole bunch too in my compost. Here's one. Oh, there's a couple of red ones over there. Here's a couple of these white ones. I'm gonna harvest. Just about to give up. And I found that one. It's going in my bucket. Found another big one. That's a big one. This is the before of the garden, right before it gets planted. I already cut up the cover crop. I have some marigolds growing here. I have some cilantro. I put straw on the whole middle so it looks nice and neat. Have some pepper plants, jalapeno growing here. My tomatoes are not looking too great. I don't know what happened to them, but that big one is going good. This one is going good. I have ginger growing over here. My lettuce tray is doing good. And these are all papaya trees that I planted. That'll be planted next year. Have a pumpkin over there. And then I left some of these beans cover crop because they still have beans and they're still producing. That's enough for me for salads and stuff like that. The garden is ready to plant. I already put in the compost here. I haven't composted that. One of the big problems that I have is decided to do tags and put the tags where I'm going to plant stuff, okay? But I don't want to put my wooden ones. I want to put the plastic ones. But the plastic ones, when you write on them in Florida, or it's raining all the time here, so this doesn't last. I mean, this will last maybe 3 days at the most. So what I did is I burned this one. To touch it, it's engraved in there. This is engraved plastic. And this way I could reuse these every year for my initial setup. I did the same thing with the wooden ones, but the wooden ones I want to use for my transplants. So in other words, right now I have, let's say I had a transplant like this one here. Let me show you. So here are some apple trees, but let's say these are tomato trees, so I would put this in here because that way I know what's in here, okay? So I don't want to use these wooden ones for the garden because they're just going to get lost in there. These are too small. These are for the transplant pots. And these are also going to be burned out of wood. I stamped these
with a stamp that I bought at Walmart a long time ago, and they came out pretty good. So I'm just going to engrave over the letters like I've shown you in the past. That's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to do these for my garden, because my garden is going to get planted. Once I finish putting the fertilizer and turning the soil, I want to put these in so that when I need to plant, I know exactly where everything is going to go. And I'm going to be doing small rows for my planting this year. This is what I'm planning on doing with compost. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we're successful or not. This is a learning curve for me. So the reason I'm outdoors is because I am burning plastic, and I do not want to be in the house when I'm burning plastic because this has a strong odor and it doesn't smell good. And we got a good windy day today, so all of this will just blow away from me. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to turn it on, have it plugged in. So that's why I'm sitting over here, because I have it plugged in over there. And I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to put it to about like a 3, because I don't really need it too hot. This is plastic. So I'm just going to go off of my list for right now. In the future, I'm going to be planting other things, but I'm just going to do the ones that I really need right now. I'm sure this garden is planted. So here we go. This is a special tip that I really enjoy, because it's almost like writing with a pen, so it makes it a lot easier to burn this plastic with that. I'm just going to go over and make it a little bit deeper, because I really do want these to last from season to season. This is going to help me move things around, kind of like pre-plan things, so I can actually, I don't know, envision them. This is what it looks like when I burn it, and it's engraved, so when you go over it, you feel it. So what I do is I go, because it's hard to see this, Sharpie's going to come off, but that doesn't matter for me, because this is only for me. I need the black so I can see where it's going to go the day of planting. After that, I don't care, because I can come up and look at it once it's erased, but it's still going to be there. I'm just going over them with the marker, so when it's time to plant, I can see it clearly. If it fades, it doesn't matter, because it's going to be like this, and I'm still going to know what's there. This map thing that I do sometimes doesn't work, and at the last minute I change things, and then I forget, and everything looks alike. So that's why I'm doing this year. It's done. I put the tags in according to my map, and I'm going to look at it and see if anything. I'm still seeing there's a lot of room here, but I want to do succession planting. So while some, I'll have one row of one, and then I'll be planting in 2 weeks another. Today I've transplanted some plants that made it through the summer that I planted a little early. Some of them didn't, because it was just too hot. But tomorrow's my first day that I'm actually going to be planting seeds in the garden. And I just want to show you a little tip of what I'm doing. So remember that I showed you that I had done the engraving on these? Well, since I have to plant tomorrow, and I don't want to bring Clyde's planner with me. By the way, I just want to tell you what Clyde's planner is. This is a great little thing that they sell on Amazon. When I got this, I was like, wow, I've been doing all this research on my own, and I could have gotten this. This is only $7. This is great because it'll tell you, no matter what zone you are, what you want to plant for spring and fall, and it will show you all the information about the plant, which is super, super amazing. So I got information from here for tomorrow for planting. So tomorrow I'm going to be planting my carrots. I want to show you here that I wrote down carrots because this goes in my garden. So I pulled it out of my garden because I wanted to put notes back here. So behind it with a marker, and eventually it's going to come off, but I just wrote what I have to do. So it says plant a 1/4 inch in the seed, and it's got to be 2 inches apart at least, and they're better off in raised rows. So when I go ahead and put my soil in tomorrow, my compost, I want to make a raised type of row. So tomorrow I'm going to plant my carrots are first, and I'm also going to plant my radish, and I'm also going to plant my beets. Those are exciting for me tomorrow. So, and I have the information. So these are the beets, and the information for planting is on the back. So in the morning, I'm going to put these back in the garden. So when I'm ready to plant, because I have to run an errand tomorrow, so I'll probably be planting late in the afternoon tomorrow. I think this is going to help me organize my planting a little better. I'm going to also be doing succession planting. So for these that have to do with rows, raised rows, I'm going to plant a row, and then I'm going to skip a row. I'm going to put some straw or something on there, because I want to do succession planting where I'm planting every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the plant and what I need, you know, that kind of stuff. This is all new to me. I'm learning all of this, And I can't really go by things that people talk about in other states because Florida is very different, and my soil is also very different. I have a very sandy soil that I've slowly been amending, and it's much better now. And that's another thing that I've done is I bought some products amending the soil. So it's super exciting for me to see how this fall garden goes and all the things that I'm going to learn from it, because I learned a lot from the summertime. But I've been harvesting a lot. I have not been buying anything for salads. I've got lots of lettuce. I got chard. The stuff that grew in my bucket did really well because the soil that I bought was good soil. So it's obviously has to do with the soil. There's lots of cherry tomatoes coming in. There's aroma plant also that's coming in now. So those made it through the summertime. They weren't really producing in the summertime because of the heat. The soil wasn't good, but slowly I've been adding compost. I've been fertilizing, all sorts of things like that. And now that we're getting to cooler weather, and hopefully those are going to get better. And then also my peppers. I have like 4 pepper plants there, jalapeno too. So I love making candy, a cowboy candy. So those are things that I'm excited about. This is my planting. These are my beets. And I wrote behind there 1/2 inch deep, 3 inches apart, and they take about 60 days. That's in a Sharpie. So hopefully that won't erase, but I got that out of my Clyde's planner, so I can always refer to my Clyde's planner. So this is the beets, and this did the same thing with the radish. It's already planted. I made a compost, like a row, and then in between I put those stems that were left over from my cover crop. So that's just to keep the weeds out. Once the plant comes in, then I'll put straw in here, something that's light. But for right now, I'm planting beets here and radish here. So then I'll put another row of this mulch here, and then another row of radish here. It's called succession planting. I'm finally tackling this project because I want to avoid all of this grass that's growing here. Now, what's going to happen on this side? This is what I'm doing. I'm filling this with mulch. Airstream is going to get sold. This is where the camper is going to be when I back up. It's going to be right there. So this whole area here is going to be a sitting area here, right? And then over there is going to be my outdoor kitchen where I'm going to have a table there. So that's the project that I'm having here, and the chickens are having a ball, spending some time with me and Misty. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm using my GoPro today so you can see what is going on this morning. I'm almost done. I'm going to finish this up here. This side got finished yesterday. I brought my sunflowers over here so that I can try to see if I can get some seed out of them for next planting. So this is what it's looking like, and I like it because when I back in the truck portion is going to be here. The side of the camper is going to be here. So the side of the camper I don't really have to access for anything, which won't be bothering anybody. And then the back of the camper will be from here, because that's what I want, the back of the camper here. I could buy one more row of pavers if I wanted to, so it would make it easy for me just to add them on. So this is what's going on, and I'm kind of brain dumping slowly as I go. I brought some of those Dollar Tree pots. They're just organizers, but I use them as pots. The other ones are also organizers that I use them as pots as well. But I won't be planting sunflowers anymore in pots because this variety does not do well in pots. Here I am going to finish up here. I got the chicks under the Airstream right now, and we're going to get done with this project because I got to finish my garden today. Plant flowers here. So the reason that I decided not to go all the way to the edge was because I have this beam here. If I decide to fence this in from the chickens, I'm going to run my fencing along this post. That way I have this space open in case I ever want to bring in my wagon, my mower, and want to keep it under cover. I don't have to open the gate for that. This is going to be my kitchen area. Plus, if I wanted to add a picnic table for eating, I could also add it down here, would still be under cover, so we can eat even in the rain. So the camper would come up to there abouts, and then this whole back area here is going to be a space for a kitchen here. So I still have to do this part, but I'm going to be mixing the mulch with city mulch. Once the Airstream goes, I was going to take my truck and pick up a whole bunch of mulch and just kind of mix it all in. Couldn't get the lighter color because they were sold out. The prices were so good for this mulch, so I figured, what the heck, I'll just buy this and then I'll mix it in with the other one later on. So this whole area will be mixed in. And this part over here is also going to get done this winter, where I'm going to remove all the grass, and I've already done that. That's why I put the cardboard here, because I want to put stones just like that. I want to fill this whole thing up with stones, and that might be something I might want to do also with the kitchen area, is just buy a whole truckload of stones, fill up here, and fill up part of the kitchen area on the other side with stones. Where the camper actually drives in, I might just do stones over there. So we'll see. What I'm going to plant here is going to be, this is going to be my flower beds. I'm going to be planting flowers here, and you'll see that when it comes up. I'll also have some nice pots of flowers here. So it's definitely a project. You'll see me working on it over the winter time, but you won't see it in action until next spring. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Chickens are out, but she just wants to go in there and see what all of that is about. I think that's so cute. She's intrigued. Misty girls, what are you doing in there? Oh my gosh, crazy. Now you're gonna get out. Good. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.